I amplified unit salute. Thursday, May the 4th be with you. 2023. Oh, come on. I had to do that, man. I had to do it. I didn't even realize it was May 4th until the red light went on and we just started to go live for this recording. I realized it was May 4th. I'm not a big Star Wars fan personally, but I know there is a big part of the world that celebrates this day like it's a holiday. Almost like what 3/16 is becoming. March 16th, where the wrestling world kind of treats that as a subsidiary holiday. May 4th has been that for the sector of Star Wars fans. So for you guys, man, may the 4th be with you, all right? Just like may the wrestling gods be with all of us come SummerSlam. Because one of the big topics today, and it is a packed, amped up podcast today with BC Amplified for Thursday, May 4th, 2023. And when I mean packed, we're going to talk about when you take something that is fun at first, friendly banter between people in different organizations, totally different conglomerates like UFC and WWE. Something that starts off as friendly banter on the social machine or in interviews, taking something fun and taking it too far. And how far? Well, Detroit, Michigan, Ford Field, SummerSlam. Who's taking it too far? Not the participants in the friendly banter. No, it's once again WWE. They will take what is good and they will somehow find a way to run it into the ground and make absolutely mind-numbing, boggling, dumbfounding, unacceptable decisions. What is BC talking about? Enough with the tease, BC. Well, I have to. It's the cold open. We gotta give you little nuggets. But in this podcast, I will tell all, man. Because we have to talk about this, just like I'm warning you about this huge Omos push coming. We already saw it started up again on Monday. Just like I'm warning you about this huge Charlie Flair return and 15th title reign could be the one to defeat Bianca Belair. Trust me, I'm just setting you guys up for the hurricane. Just like with real hurricanes, they give you the warnings, the hurricane watches, and we hope the hurricane never hits your town. We hope it brushes off to the coast, right into the ocean. But sometimes those hurricanes are stubborn and they go right the fuck over you and they cause nothing but damage in its path. Well, that's WWE, and they're setting up little mini hurricanes. Hurricane Omos, Hurricane Charlie Flair, and over here is going to be Hurricane Conor McGregor. How's that? I gave you a little bit of an extra nugget in that tease. Conor McGregor. Also in this podcast, guys, so that's a big story we're going to have to discuss, and we will. Another big story is Trinity Fatu. Trinity Fatu speaking out, breaking her silence on WWE, why she left. She didn't tell everything. There's still a lot of questions that we have, but she gave enough to get us into the mindset of what Mercedes Moné, Mercedes Fernando, Sasha Banks was thinking that day, and Trinity Fatu, Naomi. So we're going to go over her comments, Trinity Fatu's comments recently, over the last 24 hours. She's finally breaking her silence. She feels comfortable enough to just say, hey, the way I was treated, not right. We'll talk about that. We'll also talk the number one selling merchandise in AEW right now. It was very controversial for the last full week. But you know what they say, especially the wrestling business, controversy creates cash, and this young woman did just that, catapulting herself to the top of AEW's merchandise sales. We'll see how you guys feel about this. BC will give his take, and we're going to talk a lot more. It's all coming up in this amplified podcast for Thursday, May 4th. No, we're not going to do it again. Thursday, May 4th, 2023. I say we waste no time. Let BC get a huge swig of his Dunkin' Extra Extra. And we're going to come right the fuck back and rock this amplified style. You know this. You know this. All right, so unit, I want to start off with the big topic that BC wants to discuss, and that is the SummerSlam potential main event, which started out as harmless fun. Oh, that'll never happen. Don't worry, BC. To, that's looking more likely knowing World Wrestling Entertainment. So I want to start off with that big story. I'm not going to waste any more time on that. After I give a big thank you to many up in the chat. I believe it was the live stream, the last live stream that I did. Maybe it was the Raw Review Tuesday, I believe. When we were done being live, that stream went up onto the channel as a playable podcast. And in the comments, Manny sent over a couple of coffees through the super thanks option below. You can give the content creator a tip through thanks. That's never needed. It's always appreciated, never needed. I only ask one thing, totally free. It's smash the up, help the algorithm. But Manny decided to throw over a couple of coffees to the channel and tip the content creator. Pretty cool. Manny, I appreciate that, man. I did see that. Rockstar status, man. That's my amp unit. And in this video, to all of my channel members, I don't want to wait till the next video. In this very podcast, maybe toward the end, I want to give every single one of my channel members a roll call, a shout out, just to show how much I appreciate every single gold card member. When you become a channel member, you earn your gold card. And my channel members know that I expect a lot out of them, so it literally is earning your gold card. That does not come easy. I ask a lot of my gold status members. So to my channel members, I want to give you guys a big shout out as well at some point during this podcast. So let's jump into this story. Now, this all started. This is between Roman Reigns and Conor McGregor. A lot to do with Paul E. Dangerously, as you guys know today as Paul Heyman. This started out fun, right? Some laughs, some chuckles. Oh, don't worry, anybody. This will never happen. The merger between UFC and WWE through Endeavor happens, right? Now, Conor McGregor at that point, this was back right after WrestleMania. Conor McGregor, right, that big deal is announced with Endeavor. Conor McGregor posts a picture of the WWE Championship and the UFC Championship, right? Conor 2 belts, 3 belts, whatever you want to call them. He doesn't have the Universal in that picture, but he's just basically telling you, I can own all of this if I wanted to. I could before, and I can especially now with this new deal with Endeavor. Whether you believe that or not, that's in the eye of the beholder. That's what Conor is telling you with that photo. So Paul Heyman retweeted that with the caption, wannabe. Paul Heyman added fuel to the fire, right? Wannabe to Conor McGregor. Okay. Conor McGregor responds, careful, Grandpa. I'll show up and break your jaw in 3 places. We didn't hear anything for a few days from there. Then Heyman goes on to the Ariel Helwani podcast with BT Sport. And I'm not going to go over that whole verbatim, but Paul Heyman kind of laid into Conor McGregor, man. All of the insecurities that Conor McGregor had, Paul Heyman kind of touched base on him. We didn't hear anything from Conor McGregor after that, so we just said, all right, friendly banter. It got to the point, though, where even BC was like, oh, man, I hope that Vincent Kennedy McMahon and Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Paul Levesque, I hope they don't get wind of this, man. Because they will absolutely do everything in their power to try to make a Conor McGregor-Roman Reigns title match. And you say, BC, it's good publicity. It'll be good for WWE. Look what happened with Paul or Logan Paul. No, guys, that's not the case. That's not how you go about your world championship. When you didn't put it on Sami Zayn, you didn't put it on Cody Rhodes, you have ran through everybody. Roman Reigns has defeated Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, Finn Balor, fucking Cesaro, to the point where he took off or got Das Boot. You just ran through everybody. A Shinsuke, just every single person that has been laid up, he has knocked them out of the park. A lot of them, unfortunately, unacceptably. Big E, while he's a champion, mind you, at Survivor Series before his injury. Everybody has fallen to the wayside, and you're willing for some publicity to put him in there with Conor McGregor when you know WWE would actually think about putting it on him. The only thing that would stop WWE from doing that is not because they should do the right thing and put it on Cody Rhodes or go, and put it on Seth Rollins. No. The only thing that would stop them is going, we really do want to take Hulk Hogan out of that 3 spot with 1,474 days. Fuck. It's only at that point, which worst decision is going to outweigh the other, right? Pick your poison. Are you waiting 1,475 days to beat Hulk Hogan's 1,474? Or are you going to put the fucking title on Conor McGregor and make your wrestlers, every single person that stepped up to Roman, look like absolute geeks that couldn't get the job done? That's what BC was thinking. And you got the people going, it's good for publicity. Logan Paul has been amazing in many ways. He didn't really pull in viewers. I can give you the numbers if you guys want to see that. That's not anything to devalue what he has brought to WWE, by the way, because somehow Logan Paul has become one of the best actual wrestlers that I've seen in the past 2 years. So that's high praise. He's going to earn an audience, hopefully, as time goes on. I don't know about 4 matches a year for the next couple of years, if that's enough, but he's good enough to do such. But it wasn't on his name value that people went, I gotta go and buy this premium live event. I gotta buy the streaming service because I gotta see Logan Paul. Conor McGregor, okay, he might turn more heads, obviously. I don't know how many of those people are going to buy a premium live event and then keep on watching because Conor is there. And even such, the bigger issue is every pro wrestler superstar before him for the last 3 years are going to look like absolute tools because your company is going to look insufficient. You had to get this UFC guy to come over and take care of the job that your entire company of wrestlers could not take care of. I'm against this wholeheartedly. In the future, way after Roman drops the title, okay. Or on another title reign in the future, maybe. But to set up that as your big SummerSlam match, it's not helping your company one bit. It is going to muddy the waters even more. Everybody is going to throw their arms up and say, we're not even a month fully into this relationship, this merger, right? We're not even a month into it. They don't even have the actual name of what this is going to be branded under, this merger. They're still trying to figure that out. And we're already doing Conor and Roman. So I'm getting ahead of myself, right? That's just what BC and many people were thinking. No, now is not the time to bring Conor McGregor in to take on Roman because they're planting seeds. Whether it's all in good fun or not, WWE will start to take this very serious and try to make it happen. And you say, BC, no harm, no foul, just like you said with Logan Paul and so many others. If it's a straight-up exhibition match and he's going to lose anyway, then no harm, no foul. It's good publicity. That's not the case. Whether Conor wins it or not, the fact that he's stepping up on the second grandest stage of the year after WrestleMania at SummerSlam because the rest of the roster is going to look like they could not get the job done. It's already looking like a shitfest in that company. People are already looking at everybody like a complete joke to the point where Money in the Bank had to be cashed in during an open challenge for the US title. And Austin Theory cashed in for the US title during an open challenge. He didn't even need to cash in. He could have just took the open challenge. But he cashes in on a Monday Night Raw. And and by the way, he failed. He failed the cash-in. And then the following week, his excuse as to why he didn't go for the World Championship, the Universal, the undisputed champion Roman Reigns, his excuse was, well, I wasn't going to win anyway. What? And some fans bought it. They were like, well, he's telling the truth. So he went with the U.S. title, basically. But he's already held it a couple times before. What the fuck? It's an open nothing made sense. You're so scared of the champ, you don't even want to face him because you think, I wouldn't win anyway. Let me go for the mid-card title. The company was already looking so bad in that aspect. And then recently, Paul Levesque, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Schnoz McGee, Mr. Pinocchio, tells more lies than Pinocchio. That's how his schnogging got that fucking big. Here you have Paul Levesque introducing a brand new championship that fans have already deemed the runners-up championship, the participation trophy title, for justified cause, because this is what happens. This is what happens when you don't put your ducks in a row and conduct business in a reasonable, fundamental approach and way with common sense and logic leading the ship. This is what you have to do. You have to create a separate title for all of the, as Paul Heyman said, everybody at the children's table. I thought Paul Heyman said that correctly. It seems like this is for all the wrestlers at the kiddies table, the children's table, that have to order from the kiddies menu. While everybody else is eating filet mignon and lobster tails, everybody else is fighting over the tater tots and hot dog bites. No. And now, so that you have the Austin Theory US Money in the Bank cash-in botch. Then you have the new title formed because supposedly nobody can beat Roman, so we have to let everyone else fight over the consolation prize. And then this, Conor McGregor would show up to SummerSlam to even attempt to take care of the business that this company cannot take care of. Nobody on the roster. The optics are horrible. I love exhibition matches. If done correctly, you can put Goldberg in them and I'll be fine. However, when Goldberg defeats people like Bray Wyatt for championships in just a few minutes via one jackhammer, no, that becomes just a jackass maneuver by creative, by Vincent Kennedy, by Paul Levesque, and any other suit and tie that thought that was okay, or beating Kevin Owens for a championship. No, they don't utilize Goldberg in the proper ways, so it no longer becomes just an exhibition with no harm, no foul. Logan Paul, I thought, has been utilized perfectly in no harm, no foul situations. The Seth Rollins match, and losing, mind you, at WrestleMania, in Saudi Arabia against Roman Reigns, no harm, no foul. There's no issue with how they conducted that. But you know Conor would be coming in to do what the roster couldn't do, and he would use that. You can't do that right now, man. The roster already looks like jokes. I love long title reigns. I love dominant individuals. I love creating superstars. Vince McMahon and WWE were always behind Roman anyway. It was just how they're going to get there. But, so he was always the poster child of the company. Female-wise was Charlie Flair. Male-wise was always Roman. But it's still a bona fide star, right? This heel run has garnered him the reception that he knows and we know he should have been getting from day one had he not been shoved down our throats for 5 years. It's what we've been trying to tell Vince McMahon in the company. Stop shoving him down our throats as a face and do real business with him. You'll get the best results. You can get more than a 50-50 reaction of boos and cheers. You could get everybody standing up doing the one symbol and acknowledging him, right? And that's what we're finally getting. So I love all of that. But when you make such a distinction between one guy and the rest of the roster, and the one guy doesn't show up to work for months at a time, you gotta be careful how you conduct business going forward. And this is not the way. So all of that, man, I gotta get back to the fucking beginning of this, right? So just like I said, Conor McGregor posts a picture of both titles at the start of his merger with UFC Endeavor. Paul Heyman comes back with wannabe. That's just what he puts. He reposts the picture that Conor put with the two titles and says wannabe. Conor McGregor comes back with "Careful, Grandpa, I'll show up and break your jaw in 3 places." That was pretty much it until Paul Heyman went onto the podcast with Ariel Helwani, and pretty much laid into Conor McGregor. We didn't hear anything since, and that pretty much ended the discussion, right? All of people like BC and our worries of, oh no, WWE is going to go with this, aren't they? But we didn't hear anything for a week or two, so the storm had settled. Then all of a sudden, Conor McGregor just went on a tweet storm of his own. And he puts a photo of Paul Heyman with Roman Reigns in the championship. And Conor McGregor says, "Wannabes." Same thing that Paul said to him, "Wannabes." Then, without any provocation after that from Paul Heyman, Conor McGregor doubles down and he says, "I'm going to suplex Paul Heyman on sight." Then he puts another post saying there's only one champ's champ. Another photo of McGregor and the championships. Then Conor McGregor sends another post, and I quote, "You're barking up the wrong tree, Paul Heyman. I've lost count of the number of bodies I've seen taking their last breath. Watch your back for life." Then he posts SummerSlam. "I'll pull in on the yacht. Roman and Paul out the bus." Again, he ends it with SummerSlam. Quote from Conor McGregor. After he plants all these seeds, whether it's him just having some fun, maybe he had too much of that Irish whiskey, who knows? Maybe a little bit too much scotch. But he went on this tweet storm, and he ended it with SummerSlam. I'll pull in on the yacht. Roman and Paul out the bus. So he's saying he's pulling up the SummerSlam on the yacht. What the fuck is it? How does Conor know about SummerSlam coming up? Why is Conor... Right, everything else, you could say, oh, that's not planting seeds. That's just fun, BC. The last part, how he ended it, SummerSlam. I'll pull in on the yacht. Roman and Paul out on the bus. He's telling you exactly, man. Now, you say it could just be fun, BC, relax. No. I get it. It could be. It's 50-50 at this point. They could already have a deal in place. The problem is this, and you know where I'm going, because we've seen it. We've seen it for years and decades with WWE. They will run with this now. This will catch the eyes and ears of Vincent Kennedy McMahon and Paul Levesque, Schnoz McGee, Mr. Pinocchio, and they will do everything to try to make this match, because to Kennedy, any publicity is good publicity. Let's get that name. He never put stock into his own roster. He never did. He always was looking to the outside. Sometimes that plays out correctly, and it's fun for the fans. It's interesting. It's intriguing. And sometimes it should not be happening. Conor McGregor in a WWE ring having a wrestling match with Roman Reigns should not be happening in SummerSlam of 2023 with what is currently the situation for the title. And if you think differently, that's fine. You can disagree, boys. That's fine. I'm not even going to slam you for it. I'm not even joking. That's totally fine. But what I know and what I am seeing, and I'm looking toward the future and the trajectory of this company and everybody, every wrestler on that roster, I'm looking out for them and how they're going to look and be booked properly going forward. That cannot be your main event for SummerSlam. So I'm really raising awareness now before this goes to the next level with the suits and ties in Stamford, Connecticut. That nice, big, new headquarters, by the way, across the street from the old Stamford headquarters. Across the street, they moved into this nice, beautiful building. They got all the suits and ties that are now under the same umbrella as Endeavor, who heads UFC. This could absolutely happen in a snap of a finger, and it is clear Conor McGregor is ready for it. He's got the yacht ready to go. My point, just like I said with Omos and Charlie Flair, I'll say it here. This may seem like nothing to you now. Don't be shocked when you start to hear about the warnings and the watches of Hurricane Conor McGregor. Hurricane Conor, because it's most likely happening. Whether it's SummerSlam or an event down the road, it's gonna happen. And I can't say that I'm gonna shit on it completely if done correctly. But if you think that's the SummerSlam main event, wow! On the same year, just several months removed at that point from Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes not even getting it. Sami in his hometown and Cody Rhodes on the biggest stage. Stand back, hold my beers. I'll get the job done. I'm a real UFC fighter. All right? The problem is Roman has ran through everybody. Literally everybody. The botch Sunday, April 2nd is looming larger now than it ever did. I saw something recently. They said, somebody said, wow, what a mistake it was to have Cody lose at WrestleMania Night 2, Sunday night, April 2nd. And somebody responded to that, and they said, it wasn't so much that was the wrong call. It's just how everything played out afterwards. WWE fucked it all up. That's what we were trying to say, guys. That's why. That was a big part of why that was a mistake. Because we tried to tell you WWE will not do things correctly going forward. They don't have anything planned. When Schnoz McGee, Pinocchio, told you that there was more story to tell, so maybe that's why Roman kept the title, you got to be patient, he was lying. It's clear there's no more story to tell. Roman was going home with the titles. Cody was going to have to take on Brock for no reason because there was no title, so he just attacked Cody for nothing, and you already know, we discussed this in great length many times. And when Roman Reigns comes back, no matter what kickstarts when he comes back, that wasn't planned around Mania or even after Mania. No. You give the company too much benefit of the doubt and they haven't earned it. We tried to tell you that's why this was a colossal mistake. Cody was going to stay. Cody's going to be defending that title. Cody's going to be doing main events across the world, not just the U.S. He's got a tour in the UK. He's going to Puerto Rico. Still U.S., but you get the point. He's not just going to be positioned here and there. This Cody Rhodes, if you look at his schedule, he's literally holding the fort down while Roman sips martinis and margaritas at his house. No, that wasn't the right decision. If WWE knew where they were going after Mania, if WWE conducted business properly afterwards, of course, BC would have never had the problem with him keeping the title. Well, maybe I still would have said it's the wrong decision because I just felt everything was just perfect for Cody to win that. It was lightning in a bottle. You can't worry about, well, then fans will turn on him like they did with Liv Morgan and Wrestler X and Wrestler Z. They're going to do that regardless. If the opportunity arises, you got to fight through that. Cody Rhodes is good enough to go right through that. Cut that like a hot knife through butter. You can't have an audience's response dictate what you do. That was lightning in a bottle at WrestleMania. So I still would have said it was a mistake, but I wouldn't have been this drastically just mind-boggled by it and just furious as the rest of the wrestling world mostly is. Because we've seen the product has not made sense ever since WrestleMania Night 2. The whole company has not made any sense. Backlash is a shit card. It just is. There's no real suspense. There's no intrigue with the wrestling fans for WWE's product. And that sucks. It sucks to say that. That's what we were trying to say when this fan corrected the other fan or tried to correct him and say, no, it wasn't a mistake that Roman kept the title and beat Cody. It's what happened afterwards. WWE didn't know where they were going and they just haven't conducted business correctly ever since. Okay, well, that's why we said it's a mistake. It's a big reason as to why that was a mistake on Sunday, April 2nd. Now you're finally starting to see. You accidentally gave WWE the benefit of the doubt. You can't do that. I learned that a long time ago when I used to do that. And they'll burn you every single time. It's like touching the same hot stove with your pointer finger. Every morning you wake up and you touch that fucking stove thinking it's going to be a little bit cooler. Nope, it's still just as hot, if not hotter, that morning than the morning before. It's the same thing that WWE would do. You give them the benefit of the doubt. You put your hope on the line. You raise your expectations. You put your hope right out there on your sleeve, and they'll rip it right off. And that's what we were trying to say. Roman keeping that title longer than WrestleMania, they did not know where to go. There was nowhere else to go. They're not creative enough to think of a place to go. And that's what happened. That's a big reason why we were trying to tell you guys that's a botch, a booking botch. Now, the wrestling world is starting to see that. And because he went through everybody now, they're going to look at this Conor McGregor shit. They're going to love the banter they're seeing. Paul Heyman is most likely going to respond. It's early on a Thursday morning, but in the next 48 hours, expect Paul Heyman to plant some seeds back. And Paul Heyman has a lot of creative influence backstage. Don't be shocked, guys, if this friendly banter, it's not even friendly, Roman and Conor, I can confirm, are not friends, and nor have they talked. But banter, harmless banter, don't be shocked if that becomes your main event soon. And if you think Conor McGregor is ready for a wrestling match, stop. If you think he's going to be what Logan Paul has been for WWE, stop. That's the deal, man. I'm warning you guys now about a huge possibility that is going to be your main event for Ford Field to try to sell SummerSlam to the main base. According to Nick Khan and WWE, they're doing fine with ticket sales anyway, so they're just going to try to make everybody have a reason to tune in on the Peacock streaming service. I don't know how many UFC-only fans are going to tune in because Conor McGregor is wrestling a match. How much UFC fans that are not WWE fans, they just talk shit about a lot of pro wrestling, they're going to all of a sudden pay money because they want to see Conor McGregor wrestle? Numbers have shown us that doesn't work in the past. That's it. That's the discussion. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I'm sure you'll let me know. And if you're down with the idea, hope you're right. Hope the roster looks good because they're not looking good now. The way they've been booked behind Roman has not been good. What they've done to make them relevant while Roman goes on his star-studded crusade tour. Smash 'em, bash 'em world tour. The rest of the roster has not looked good, bro. And if you think bringing in UFC's Conor McGregor to take care of what the whole roster can't, whether he wins or not, if you think that's the right call, I hope you're right. I'll leave it at that. We'll revisit this Ford Field SummerSlam. Moving on. Spent enough time on that, but that's a huge topic. It's huge. We talked about it after Mania when they started this discourse, and all of a sudden it died down for a week or two, and now it just ignited 10 times more furious. Let's hope they don't go that route. Smarten up. Use your noggin, common sense, and logic. Think about your roster. HHH, VKM, and any other schmuck that has any influence in that company. Endeavor, this is your time to say no. BC, they're going to want their UFC guy and their WWE guy to go head-to-head. It's more money for them, BC. Not so fast. Not so fast. Don't go for the liquidation day. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Don't put all your chips on the table on one night, man. Think about the long term. There's greater success with being patient and doing things down the line. With something like Conor McGregor and Roman Reigns. You got to think about everybody involved. That's BC for you, though. I'm always thinking a mile ahead because I already know that WWE is not. So I'm setting everybody up for the truth so they're not shocked by how bad that truth is. The reality of WWE's booking is. All right, guys. Also, what I wanted to talk about is the next big story here is Trinity Fatu. She recently, I don't know what podcast it was, nor do I give a shit. I don't have time to listen to podcasts. BC's doing his own thing and being the top of this industry. Thanks to you guys. I appreciate it. But Trinity Fatu spoke up about her and Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks, her and Sasha walking out of WWE. And this is the first time that any of them have really broken their silence and given us any insight into what happened that day. Why was it that day that they decided enough? This is what Trinity said. She has broken her silence, and I quote, Naomi of WWE, on her walkout and going to Impact Wrestling. Trinity says, and I quote, I chose and wanted to be at Impact. The doors are open for me everywhere, literally everywhere. That tells me that Schnoz McGee, Pinocchio, Hunter Hearst Helmsley has had conversations with most likely Sasha and Naomi, Mercedes and Trinity. And this was so volatile, this incident, that they didn't even trust Hunter to come back to WWE. That tells you how much they've had enough and how much they are starting to not trust Levesque. Maybe he's not Papa H looking out for their best interest after all. Maybe he is that lying son of a bitch with the golden shovel that so many people beforehand have talked about and have told stories about. But Trinity says the doors are open for me everywhere, literally everywhere. But I truly feel like Impact is the best choice for me at this point in my life right now, with what I want to do and to just be able to work with the talent there. I feel that is where I'll be happiest and most utilized and really get to grow in the ways that I feel that I need to right now on this wrestling journey. Had all of this stuff never happened with WWE, there's no way that I would have took that leap. But the situation kind of forced me to figure it out. That's what I meant when I said everything was a blessing in disguise, because I was really going through a lot at that time. I felt very stagnant and I was not happy. I just want to pause right there, guys. And I quote, I felt very stagnant and I wasn't happy. That's what I was telling you guys in her booking leading up to her walking out with Sasha Banks. I was telling you guys her character, everything about her just feels stagnant, and it's like she knows it. And there's no... It's just like the old expression when Shawn Michaels says, I have to walk away, I have to find my smile again, even though we made fun of that. It's true. It's like she lost her love for wrestling, whether she uses those words ever or not. That's what I was viewing. And I'm a big Trinity Fatu, Naomi fan. I know what she brings to the table. When everybody else says, oh, she's just a mediocre mid-carder. No, that's because they tried to book her as that and that alone. And that was bullshit. And the best part was, even though they tried to book her as a mediocre mid-carder, she was the human highlight reel in every one of her matches. Whether it's a singles match, a multi-person schmaz, a tag match, or a Royal Rumble, she was the highlight reel. Her athleticism was second to none. Not even Charlie Flair can touch her athleticism. But she's only held 2 titles to Charlie's 14 because they tried to book her as a mediocre mid-carder so that we never had a real care about Naomi. So when she did cool things like create the Glow title at the house event, instead of pushing that Glow title for massive merch sales, they punished Naomi. Real good there, Vince. Because she was impeding on the territory of the golden child, Charlie, and we cannot have that. At that point, they were pushing Lacey Evans, and who knows what other one of Vince's and Triple H's favorites. But Naomi could not get the time of day. So now wrestling WWE fans, the tribalists, they're like, oh, no loss. She was never anything big anyway. And they start to rip apart her areas of weakness in pro wrestling like they know what the fuck they're talking about. So no validity, no weight do those words carry. None at all. When I hear shit like that, you just have to laugh and move on. Never give simpletons the time of day that spew such befuddling BS. They're only lying to themselves and nobody else. Naomi was next level special. She was never given the time of day. And for her to feel stagnant and that she wasn't happy, that tells you everything you need to know. And that tells you everything BC told you was accurate to a T, man. to a T, I was viewing this on her face, in her words, the way she carried herself. She was demoralized. That company saw nothing. They lied to her and said, hey, you go into a tag team with your good buddy Sasha, we'll make a tag team division relevant and you guys can head it. No, they never even gave them the time of day. They never wanted, and they're never going to at this point, make that division relevant. And Sasha was lied to twice, once with Bayley and then with Trinity Fatu, Naomi. So anyway, going back to what Naomi, Trinity Fatu said, and I quote, I felt very stagnant and I was not happy. Ultimately, I left that day because of the way I was talked to and handled. Everything kind of just broke me that day. It had nothing to do with anything else, anybody else. That was just it. I had to walk away. To go through all of that backlash and the negativity and the lies and the rumors, and then to also kind of just feel lost, it totally broke me. It was probably the lowest I've ever felt in my life. But going through that made me reset and face it head on and figure out how to learn from this experience and grow from it and just find myself again in all of this. I'm extremely happy now and really thankful for this opportunity to show you that you haven't seen me at my even best yet. End quote. Badass. But to go back to what she said, I felt very stagnant. I was not happy. And ultimately, I left that day because of the way I was talked to and handled. Handled. She used the word handled as if she is my brand new pup. Or like my German Shepherd was. Now my chow chow. Like you have to handle them at a certain stage in their life. She's not a puppy. She's not an elderly person that can barely walk or can't walk. This is a really good professional wrestler who has done everything you've asked her to do for 10 years. She's been there years longer than Charlie, and she has 12 championships less than Charlie, yet Charlie's not better, or if you think so, not by much. I don't think even close. Naomi hands down. And this is somebody who had to be handled. She says, I left that day, walked out of WWE because of the way I was talked to and handled. Lee's questions, right? Who? Doesn't sound like Vince McMahon. The word we got, they laid the titles in front of John Laurinaitis. People power. What even? Don't walk out. Hey, I'm talking to you. What are you doing? Come back here. I have power over the people. Don't you know who you're talking to? I'm people power. John Laurinaitis. Hey, don't shut the door on me. Get back here, you foolish kids. John Laurinaitis. Right? That's the word we got. They laid the titles in front of John Laurinaitis on the table and they walked out. You're telling me Vince McMahon scolded Sasha Banks and Naomi? And they didn't lay the titles at Vince. No, they walked out and then ran to John Laurinaitis and said, fuck you, man. Vince yelled at us and ran away. No, I doubt it, man. Was it John Laurinaitis that they had the beef with? And right there they said, then fuck you, and put the titles on the table of John Laurinaitis. Was it Laurinaitis? It's interesting, right? Was it Paul Levesque? You know, it's interesting. Paul Levesque was bringing everybody back around that time. A few weeks afterwards. Anyway, he was bringing everybody back. From everybody from a Karrion Kross to a Munchkin, Mia Yim, Candice LeRae's, you name it. He was bringing everybody back, giving name changes back, right? It was smoke and mirrors, of course. Vince was still with it all. This was just to show everybody, smoke and mirrors, that Paul Levesque had complete control. That's all this was. So everybody came back. No Sasha Banks, no Naomi. Now this was, they looked at him as Papa H. Those were his kids, supposedly, right? They didn't even trust him to come back. What was that, the blowout? Was it with Pinocchio, Hunter Hearst Helmsley? Those questions are going to remain. Who was the person? And I quote, I left that day because of the way I was talked to and handled. Maybe it was a whole unit of people. Maybe it was a Vincent, a Pinocchio, and a Laurinaitis. Maybe a few others. And they were in a room and they had a big blowout. They thought about it after 10 minutes after the meeting, and they went into Laurinaitis' office and dropped the titles. Who knows? I'm really interested to see who that would be, man. As far as who talked to them such in a way where they felt, you know what? I'm not even being respected. Not only are we being booked like shit, we're not even being respected. And there's people, it's hilarious. They go, yeah, they're booked really bad. They're champions, tag champions of WWE. And they were about to go into singles world title matches for the women anyway. The women's Raw, SmackDown. They were about to go into singles title matches. You're not understanding. You're acting like these are people that are just thankful. They're getting big moments in WWE. Like this is a fucking Candice LeRae or a Lacey Evans. No, she was given everything from day one. That's not a good... Xia Li. There you go. Xia Li, right? Fucking Xia Li and Mia Yim. You're acting like it's those two. This is Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, one of the best female wrestlers in the world. I say the best. And again, I'm not asking for opinions or if you disagree. That's not the point. She's everybody's best match, or at least one of their best matches. That means she is the common denominator of awesomeness. That's what I mean when I say she's one of the best wrestlers. It's not about if you like her or not, or if you disagree or not. That doesn't matter. Factually, she's one of the best wrestlers. She gives everybody their best match, or at least one of their best matches. Always. Doesn't matter. Charlotte Flair, many of her best matches were Sasha. Bayley, her best matches with an S, Sasha. Io Shirai, Io Sky, Sasha. Bianca Belair, Sasha. Becky Lynch, Sasha, and so on. And if you have matches you think were better, that's fine. But one of then their best matches was with Sasha. That's why we say she's the best, right? You're acting like a tag title is enough to just shut her up. She was lied to already with a tag title with Bayley. And they never created an actual division, so they were just sitting in irrelevancy the same way they were as individuals, just now weighed down even more with irrelevant championships. It's hard to even call them that. And Bayley and Sasha was like, what are we doing, bro? And then they just lose them at WrestleMania. And they're like, what the fuck? You never even gave us a reign. You never created a division. We're in a 4-way match, losing our tag titles. And then Sasha said, okay, I'm going to buy your lies again. I'll do this one more time with Naomi, but now you're serious, right? You're going to make a division and allow us to move it along. Yup, that's what we'll do. We'll definitely, we're going to make the tag division. Just go over there and play with Naomi with the titles. They get titles. No division was created. No tag teams, no formidable opponents, nothing. And then they find out that they're going to have singles matches with the champions and lose. And then they'll go right back to the tag team division. There's only one problem. There is no division. So they're being asked to put over the champion, right? Do the job like good little soldiers, and then go back to your irrelevancy and your non-existent division. I hope you guys are understanding. How would you be okay with this if you're Sasha Banks and Naomi, who has been booked into mediocrity, and you know you're not and shouldn't have been for 10 years? No. They're not going to be satisfied with mediocrity. They don't want to just do the job singly to go back to a non-existent, irrelevant division. This is hurting their booking, but it's hurting them. You're making them look like geeks. You're putting them so far onto the back burner, people are going to forget about them after a while. And that's talent you should not be forgetting about. I think they're pissed off because they thought people would forget about them sooner than they did. They didn't, because Sasha and Naomi are absolutely really good, and people know that, even subconsciously. So WWE was getting pissed. How can we just put them on the back burner? And it got to the point where they're just, here they are being talked to like garbage. So not only are they being booked improperly, but now they're not even respected. Yeah, you'd walk the fuck out too. You'd walk out of a McDonald's, you'd walk out of a Walmart job, you'd walk out of your sales position, you'd walk out of your Wall Street job. There comes a time where there's not enough money in the world to break you. To absolutely break you into a pit of misery. No, you have to step up Locate your fucking balls and step up and finally say enough. I demand respect or I'm out. You know, these WWE contracts are funny. They only benefit WWE. You can sign a contract and Vince can fire you whenever he wants. But when the talent's not happy, they're doomed to their prison sentence. And tribalist fans go, well, that's what they signed up for. Vince should have all the right. Why? What? There shouldn't be a clause where if somebody is so miserable that it's actually affecting their day-to-day life and operations that they shouldn't be able to take off? Can't we mutually agree as adults to let them out of the contract? If you don't want me to go somewhere for a certain amount of days, that's fine. But let's talk like adults, and I want to get out of this. I thank you for everything. I hope you enjoyed my service. I hope my services helped your business. I hope I did everything you've asked. But I need to get out now, please. No, Vince McMahon, WWE, they just put you in a prison sentence. But the second that Vince, even though they're recording record revenue, the second that they want to cut you to save a few pennies, you're gone without notice. You're fired. You know how many talent finds out on social media that they've been fired? You know how many talent goes, oh, wow, I was dreading the phone call, and then I didn't even have to pick it up because I found out online that I got fired. Talents. These are wrestlers, guys. Vince can't even have the fucking decency to tell them up front. That's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. There's one thing to protect the business with contracts, and there's another thing where you hold 100% of the power, and your talent, the ones breaking their backs, literally and figuratively for you, they have no say on when they can just leave. Even if you say, no, I need a 2 months notice, and then 2 months, not 2 weeks. Okay, fine. I'll give you 2 more months, and then you'll let me out of this, and then I won't work for another promotion for 6 months. That's fine. 6 months, not 6 weeks. Not 3 months. No. And Naomi and Sasha Banks got ridiculed and ripped apart as if they were unprofessional. Michael Cole goes live on Vince's orders and probably Schnoz McGee Pinocchio and says they were unprofessional the way they acted. Yeah, well, I say the suits and ties were unprofessional the way they acted and treated their talents. And I doubt very much that Trinity and Mercedes are the only talents that have been talked down to and disrespected. So the Trinity Fatu opening up and saying it was one person in particular, or she didn't say one, it could have been a few in a meeting, but it was one conversation where the way that they were talked to and handled that day, meaning just what the company thought of them and what they had them doing, it was not in their best interest. But you see, it's not about that. It's about the company's best interest. This is your talent. Why would you not put them in the best possible positions? You're going to have them job out against your champions and then put them back into an irrelevant, non-existent tag division to sit there and rot until they have, a breakup that nobody's going to give a fuck about because you sat them there for 9 months doing nothing. And then you're going to act like it's them that are just not generating. While you're pushing the fuck out of Charlotte Flair. I have to use her as the example because she gets a push the day she comes back. She wins titles. She gets WrestleMania, almost main events this year. If we didn't raise enough of an alarm, that would have been the main event this year, Rhea and Charlotte. And that was a good match, thankfully, probably because the pressure was off and we gave them more of a chip on their shoulder to come out and produce. But no way should that have been the main event. I'm proud of Trinity, man. And I hope she just absolutely rocks it on Impact Wrestling. I'll end it there. That took a while too, man. I get amped up on this situation. You know, it's just how you treat your employees. In this case, they're not even employees. They're independent contractors. So the way they're booked means even more to them. Because after Vince just fires them for no reason on the snap of a finger, blink of an eye, drop of a hat, and just fires them, no notice, no nothing. However they were booked for how many amount of years, that's what everyone's going to know them by. Right? That's all the equity that they have built. And if you're a really good talent, you hope that you built enough equity. If you're being booked like garbage and then you just get fired one day, Yeah, that affects your career going forward. You're an independent contractor. You better take inventory of how you're being booked. You better care about how they're booking you and how you're being utilized. Have some say in your shit. The product will probably be better if more wrestlers had more say. Maybe there would be more creativity. That shit gets me amped up. Much love to Trinity Fatu. Also, guys, I'll end it with this. The number one merchandise seller in AEW. You guys ready for this? And by the way, I totally forgot to even mention that. After Trinity made her debut, she did file for 2 trademarks. Trinity Fatu and Trinity. So those will be trademarked for pro wrestling entertainment services. Trinity Fatu. Trinity is her name going forward. In case you guys were thinking there was going to be a nickname, anything like that. Now back to what I was going to say. Oh, you know what, too? Roman Reigns. Real quick, I'll get to the number one merchandise seller. Roman Reigns is being placed onto the Money in the Bank poster and marketing. I believe that, where is that? London, England, I want to say. I think it's in London. Money in the Bank. I think July 1st. Roman was not initially on it. Now it looks like he's been added onto that. So Roman Reigns added onto that pay-per-view. He probably wasn't supposed to show. He probably was supposed to be gone all summer. And they said, well, fuck, we're getting a lot of backlash now more than ever about you just not showing up at all. So maybe they had no choice but to add this dude. All right, number one merchandise seller. This was controversial AF, dude. Britt Baker. What, BC? Did you just say Britt Baker's at the top of the merchandise sales in AEW? That's exactly what I said. Number one, a t-shirt that just has Britt's face with a black eye. She calls it, what was it called, guys? Damage. What the heck was it called? Hold on. There's a name that they're calling this on the fucking show. Damage Fucker. Damage Fucker 2000. What was it? What's it called, man? The fuck is that thing called? Battle Damage. Damage Fucker 5000. What the fuck is BC talking? That was gonna bug me. I had to look that up, guys. That was gonna bug me all day until I found out. It was on it was there. I couldn't remember it. Battle Damage. The problem was, guys, there was nothing on it word-wise. It just was a picture of Brittany Baker with the black eye, like a big picture, guys, printed on the front. That's it. There was no, like, if you don't watch pro wrestling, especially AEW, you don't know Britt Baker. You don't know. There's no reasoning for that shit. You don't know what that is. There's no, like, there's like a small little AEW, I think, somewhere. Maybe like very tiny at the bottom or on the shoulder. Somewhere there's a small AEW, but it's just Britt Baker's face with a black eye. If you don't follow AEW or pro wrestling for that matter, you're like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? A lot of people. How you feel about it is your own way. I mean, this is a controversial, hot topic. So BC is not going to tell you you're right or wrong on this. It's all in the eye of the beholder, guys. There's people that literally just know from the jump that that's not a good look. That's just really bad. And there's other people that think, well, you know what? Man, the world is so just... It's just become so damn soft. And it's... If that was a dude with a black... I think Brittany even said that in defense of this. Brittany said, if this was a guy, would we be having this conversation? So there's those people that don't see a problem with it. And obviously there's many people that don't see a problem with it because they say controversy creates cash. They bump that t-shirt to number one for AEW. Number one merch pusher is that t-shirt. So that's what I mean. There's people that feel different ways about it. BC's take, I'll tell you honestly, guys, because I do agree. When it comes to the word, or we'll do the Enzo spelling. S-A-W-F-T, soft. The world has absolutely become that. And it's sad that you can't do certain things or the freedom of speech isn't so free anymore. I absolutely agree with those people. But But seeing that t-shirt, guys, I instantly thought that is not a good look, bro. Like that. If there was, BC's take is this, okay? Here's my take. Maybe there's a way we can all come together and make it work. If there was more writing on it, maybe, right? Battle damage. Up here, right? Battle damage. Britt Baker, right? That's all you need. And if people don't know what it is, and they have issue with it, then you don't know what you're talking about. That's battle damage. That's your monitor. That's Britt. It says right here. Why are you going to walk up to me and go, that shirt's wrong, when you could just get on your phone and Google Britt Baker and you'll know what it is? That's all. Black eyes happen. People walk into fences, walk into walls, walk into fucking telephone posts, right? I mean, if you got Liv Morgan in yoga pants walking down Fifth Avenue, if you're a dude, you're going to walk into a stop sign or a stoplight. A lighting post, right? I mean, this is Liv Morgan. This is Alexa Bliss walking down Fifth Avenue in yoga pants. You know what I mean? It's not that hard to believe that black eyes occur. And sometimes you get bruises, you don't even know what they... Am I right? You'll notice a bruise, you don't even know what it was from. You're like, what the fuck did I hit my arm on? You know what I mean? You can't just block all black eyes on a female from existence. It's their problem. They didn't get on their phone. It says right there, Britt Baker, battle damage, right? It's a pro wrestling thing. The fact that there's no real writing, just small AEW, I believe, is the... Yeah, I don't think I can get the actual... Oh, you know what? Yeah, I got the shirt here. Yeah, I don't even see the AEW, actually, guys. Hold on. I'm going to make sure it's not... I mean, maybe in the back? In the front, there's absolutely... I'm looking at it right now. There's no... It's still up there. $29.99. By the way, my amplified merchandise on teespring.com is premium quality for $25. Little merch plug. But yeah. Oh, small AEW, bottom left, guys. Bottom left. There's a very small AEW. That's all it is. The whole shirt is just a big photo of Brittany looking like the face too. Could we have done a little different with the face? I don't know, man. It looks really bad, guys. I feel bad even laughing because of what it looks like to a lot of people. I mean, if you look at her face, it's not just it looks like she's depressed and she just got... I mean, it's literally photos that you see with certain types of domestic abuse. It really is, man. What? BC had to say it. For the people that don't think there's a problem with it, I'm telling you, I hear you guys too, bro. The fuck? But how can you not see how this is instantly taking a separate way when there's no writing either? Nothing. There was a way that AEW could have been a little bit more responsible. Battle damage, Britt Baker. Or okay, just Britt Baker. Right? Then it's up to everybody else to just Google the fucking name. Right? An old couple comes in. Henry, did you see that person? That girl looks like she's being abused. She looks miserable and she has a black eye. Should we call the cops, Henry? Oh, damn it. Maybe it's a cause or something. Maybe somebody passed away from domestic look for wording, Nancy. I don't see any words, Henry. I'm going to give that young man a piece of my mind. Sonny, you're an asshole, mister. Let's hope nobody abuses you and gives you a black eye, Sonny. Oh, man, this is one of my favorite wrestlers, Britt Baker from AEW. Wrestling? What? Brittany who? Put some word on it, man. Changes everything. Maybe not everything. It's still pretty bad. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. That's pretty bad, man. But put some word on it. Maybe there's some context. If you see no problem with it, that's fine, man. You know, it's... I don't think it's a soft thing, though. She just looks so, like, almost like she's hiding another one on the other eye, too, because the hair is blocking the... And they just posted that on a shirt. I don't see how anybody could think that was a good decision. I don't understand this at all. Again, I'm not saying anybody's wrong how you feel about it. You guys can let me know down below if you've made it this far into the podcast. I'd love to know how you feel about it, because everybody's has an opinion and everybody's has a take. That's my take. I don't see how this could be looked at as a right decision or a good decision. I don't see how this could possibly have been approved. And I think if some context was on it, for like wording for context, maybe, then it's up to people to kind of, before they throw a tantrum, maybe do some research on it. But this is it's not a good t-shirt for a big wrestling company that's trying to get bigger and really trying to get advertisers and this and that. I don't understand it. Battle damage is one thing, but how could they think that this is a good idea, guys? I don't understand. I'm just going to leave it at that. Cause the more I look at it, I'm baffled. Like, that's the first thing I thought of was, no! No! Tell me there's like glow-in-the-dark wording somewhere, man. Not good. Not good at all, the BC. But that's one man's thought process on it. We went way over an hour, guys. I'm going to keep it there. There was a lot I told you. There were some big topics, and we had to jump in on them. Some very important shit. Trinity breaking her silence about her WWE departure, walking away from World Wrestling Entertainment. A very good chance now more than ever that Conor McGregor will be taking on Roman Reigns for that title, and it only becomes an issue now of picking your poison. What wrong is going to supersede the other wrong? Is WWE going to go for 1,474 days, Hulk Hogan's reign, boot Hulk Hogan from the top three like Vince and Triple H want to do, Paul Levesque and Kennedy McMahon, or are they going to go Conor McGregor takes the title off of Roman Reigns to show that WWE is the talk of the town? Meanwhile, your whole roster looks like absolute fucking jokes. Guys, that's the podcast I got for you. I'm actually going to give a roll call right now to all of my channel members, guys. You guys ready for this? Every single one of you guys, man. Starting with, these are my gold card members. To everybody, check it out, man. Salute. We'll do this again, near future. Probably later today. Maybe there'll be another fucking bonus vid. You never know. But definitely tomorrow, of course, SmackDown coming up. So, until next time, and there will be a next time, BC saying salute. Check you. For those of you sticking around for this roll call, JR9 Gaming. Salute, brother. JR9 Gaming gold status, the very first gold card member, by the way. Jack Brewer was right there. I think Jack Brewer was like the second gold card member. Godswilla, Jacqueline Robinson, Sir Charles, Sadiqua Flowers. Oh, we just got a new member right as I was saying all this, man. I'll get to that. Was that Sheriff Rivers that just rejoined? This isn't up to date. The tube keeps this up to date by the hour, guys. So new members added by the hour. This gets refreshed and updated, right? Anybody no longer a channel member for whatever reason, they're instantly DOS booted from channel membership. So I do love that the tube keeps this list up to date by the hour. JR9 Gaming, Jack Brewer, Godswilla, Jacqueline Robinson, Sir Charles, Sadiqua Flowers, Anthony Bowley, Ray Foreman, Kim T, Dante Jared 23, Carlos Ray, A. Merrick, James Miller, Eric Leno, D. Carre, Cy E. Parker. I got Ray Foreman, right? I think I did. PB Silly Pride. What up, PB Silly Pride? Sam Byers, The Stiffmeister, Stifler, Ash Steggles. DJ is a prodigy. What up, DJ? Alicia Vukovic, Batty Banks, Trina Scott, Pimp Jesus, Janelle Layton. Thank you, Janelle. Raymond Karan, Nessie Sunflower, Yamos, Santivia Major, Jared Kelly, James Shrimp Fajitas, keep rocking, bro. G, a.k.a. True Life the God, Christopher Blackshear, Network Guy Dave, Jay, Dwayne Piazza, Quentin Gilbert, Pile Driver Finisher, Savage 1024, The Punisher. Brand Q featuring Quincy. Rachel Raga. Mr. Big 200. Smokey. Jamal Straken. Venus Soldier 92. Robert Hurt. Snake Venom. Silver Black 31. Jimmy Fingers 19. Sterling Range. Ozzy Edwards. Taryn Dawn. Jane Donnelly. Love seeing all these names up here in the Gold Unit, man, because it's all the names I see up in the members-only chats or just even in the complete Red Unit Go, Red Team Go chats, man. Always good to give you guys a shout-out, man. Where'd I leave off? Taryn Dawn, Jane Donnelly, Buggy, Ray Hunt, The Up Channel, Colin, Blitz 2K5, Dave Millay, Angel Alega, Big Nang, Jason Martinez, Richard Rodriguez, Kevin M.D., DeMonte Ty Drew, Richard Wade, Neon Firefly, John Gray, Cosmic Fool, Ryan Matina, Acolyte, Brian Robinson, DC Lanier, Ash Sims, AWS Promotions, Soldierman 1984, Muhammad Isa, Sean, Freestylers Inc. Podcasting, Deontay Thomas, Ramon Brown, Spicy Mama McCaleb, WWE AEW Marvel Fan, Swift 718, Cruz Madrid, Redchester 88, Go Jackets, Carlton Bartley, Chaos CAK, The Script Keeper, Psycho on Crack, Michael Coldren, Profound Mogul, Rage Hall, Bad Big Dog 95, D-Block 85, Maximus Sage, Titan Poetic Chef, Jimmy J 145, Josiah Cooper, Ron C 23, Eric Newton, D Stands Alone, Crimson, Daniel Pinson, Clutch City Fan, Unique Butterfly, Jeremy Harris, Kevin Johnston Sabres News Consolidated, Sassy 2208, Willard Bayless, Patrick Charles, Corey Mitchell, Jay Kahn, Lee Laws, and Sheriff Rivers. Sheriff Rivers with a rejoin. For some reason just popped up while I was doing the list. You guys are the absolute top of the heap, man. The front line of the unit. Thank you for holding it down. You know all the prerequisites. I ask a lot of you guys, man. So when I say you earn your gold card, you earn that shit. And I appreciate it. Big time. So unit, that's where I'm going to keep this well over an hour of a podcast. It had to be done. Lots to talk about. Keep it right on the channel always. You should be subbed and notified anyway. That'll tell you guys when BC puts up a video, especially bonus podcasts, which could be today, to be honest. We'll see. But a lot of content still to come this week. Till next time, again, there will be a next time. Top guy, I'm out. BC saying think, be, live, amped always. Check you.